MMA scraps is why most shows tap out then cry. We the ones like 'em now at the end of the bout with our hands to the...
Man, let's talk a little bit about this thing, man. You thought after seeing, was it after seeing Paul Daley's last fight that you wanted to fight him, or was it just in general that sounds like a really exciting fight?
Hell, man, when he was in the UFC, I would have loved to take that fight. It really just came down to him being outside of the UFC and now me being outside. Who are the best guys outside of the UFC right now? And I'm like, well, Paul Daley and Nick Diaz are the first ones that come to mind.
Right.
And I personally, I mean, I know I know Pat Barry knows what it's about to fight people that you respected, and like when he fought Crow Cop and shit, you know,
right,
like that's exactly how I feel, man. I'm one of the biggest fans of the sport, and it would be an honor to go to battle with some of these top guys.
Yeah. Well, this is a good opportunity, man, because Daley outside. I think he just signed with Strikeforce now too, actually. Daley outside of the
Strikeforce is freelance though.
Yeah, that's true. You can get fights. You can fight outside the organization.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying is I know he signed with Strikeforce, but he's still available to fight in either Japan, Shark Fights, various other organizations.
Well, I think
make it happen.
I think what we need to do is get the UG mob, the underground, going as they make things happen. So I'm gonna take this excerpt and put it on YouTube and then post it on the underground, and let's see if we can get the underground to make this fight happen, because I think this would be a great fight for fans.
Yeah.
And I honestly think it could happen. There's no reason that something like this can happen. It would be an exciting fight. It would be one of the more exciting fights outside the UFC that it could be put together right now. I mean, you think about who else you could put in there with Paul Daley that's going to sit there and strike with him and not be afraid of it. Your name comes to mind.
I can tell you right now, Shark Fights will take care of you. I fought for them last year, and they take real good care of you, man.
Really?
Yeah, really. I fought for them last September, and they're good.
Well, you guys need to hook up, because I know Ben's was also kind of concerned. We had a conversation, him and I, about fighting outside the UFC and kind of, not wanting to piss off the UFC, because obviously he wants to get back there at some point, and he doesn't want to fight for the organizations that might, put him in the outs. But to be perfectly honest, I think you're probably pretty safe most places.
I got the blueprint on that.
You got the blueprint on that?
Yeah, I got cut out right after the Ultimate Fighter, and my whole goal was I don't want to piss off the UFC, and I want to get back in. You know what I'm saying? So there's a couple things.
And then it kills me because, like, okay, I can take, there's various routes. I can either look at the financial route and be like, okay, should I just be like, try to jump into a contract with one of these bigger organizations that are, they're going to hold me down, but if they're going to self-promote me and I'm going to get paid, the most decent amount of money outside of the UFC and this and that, for a living, this is what I do. Do I go that route? Or do I go the route where, I just keep fighting, locally and like just, all these random places where maybe I'm the main event and this and that. I'm not getting paid as much, but I'm getting the exposure and the experience of fighting guys that might not be even, at my level. I might just be making highlight reels of these people, or once again, the worst is these new up-and-comers, man, they're trying to get in the UFC because the win over me puts them a little bit, it puts them higher on the food chain, and people will start looking. Right. So I'm going to be looking for, these young guns trying to take me out. Or the third option is, all right, who's the best people out in my weight class outside of the UFC, and can I make that happen?
Right.
I would do plan B first, like 2, and then go to the third one.
I guess what I was going to say was you've proven that you can bring some high level fighters into your organization. You've done that. So why not go ahead, try a one fight contract with Ben Saunders, see if it works. He's going to bring it. He's an exciting fighter, and people want to see him.
He's definitely going to bring it.
Listen, he follows under that. You're 100% correct. He does follow under that. That person I'm looking for. He's a guy that you know for sure he's going to bring it. It's like he doesn't know any other way to do it.
I know for sure.
How do you feel about? I don't see it happening, but how do you feel about when people say, I'd like to see promotions cross champions to fight to see who's the best.
Right.
I mean, it's brought up a lot in the forums. They're like, I like to see the MFC champions fight Strike Forces champions. I mean, how do you feel when people talk about that kind of stuff?
Hey, listen, still right now, my champion at 155 is Antonio McKee, right? Everybody reported that he signed with UFC. He hasn't signed with the UFC. And the funny part is that I said, okay, if people want to do that, I'd love to do that, right? Because then you're right, we would differentiate between who's really who and who's really what, you know what I mean? Not to say that certain champions don't deserve to be in those situations, they do, right? But what I'm saying is that would be very interesting to see those type of things go on. But, unfortunately, gentlemen, that will never happen in our sport.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I said. It'll never happen, but it's just an argument, people talk about rankings and pound for pound, all that crap, or promotion versus promotion, but it really doesn't matter. Whoever puts on the best show is what people are going to be paying attention to.
Hey, listen, man. Even on paper the other day, I don't even know the name of the show, nor do I care. But Houston Alexander against Sokoudjou, right? That, to me, I think that fight, it's like, that's a good fight, But then you watch a guy like Houston, who I think is awesome. I like his character as a human being, right?
Yep.
I look at him and he lays it down. He goes in there, he lays it down. I'm like, that's what I want to watch.
Right.
They were a fight of the night, I believe.
Yep, it did.
For sure. Well, they were on the same night as me, right? So you could argue David Heath's fight.
Oh, true.
You could
True.
You could argue Lima Ford fight.
No, I'm talking about their card, they were voted best fight. Because everybody knew Houston and Sokoudjou were going to throw down.
Right.
And they did. But that's what makes the difference right now in my eyes. It's like I don't even care about like the name of the organizations anymore. I want to watch great fights. And I think the fans out there are I'm not saying everybody, but there's a great percentage of them now that are thinking the same way. They don't care if it's MFC, UFC, Strikeforce. They want to watch great fights wherever they may go.
Well, Mark, I'm going to put a challenge out to you then, man, because I like to see you back up your word. I'm going to post this as a clip on the Underground tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure what you're going to see is a lot of people are going to say, well, go ahead and sign Ben Saunders to at least a fight. You'll see that there's fan interest. I'd like for you to at least try and at least be able to back up your word and see if you'll do it, because I would love to see him fight any of the guys in your organization.
I think you're right. No, listen, you know what, guys? That's why I'll do an interview with you guys on Sunday.
Okay.
Because the difference is that I don't give a shit if it's Sunday, Easter, Christmas. I will talk MMA and do business in the MMA world, right?
Yep.
And I'm telling you, Ben Saunders is definitely a guy that falls in our category to be in our organization. Hey, tell me that wouldn't be a sexy fight. Ben Saunders versus Ryan Ford.
Oh, I'm in it.
20.
Oh. That would be hot.
I like the way he thinks.
I'm saying that fight.
It's not about me. It's about people that want to see that. I even say that to myself. I'm getting excited right now just thinking of the two of them fighting each other.
Well, make it happen, man.
That mentality is what keeps the cards looking good.
I can text him right now. Get him to hook up with you and make that fight happen.
You text him right now. Listen, you text him right now because you know what? You just made that fight. That was you that did that. So, take credit for that fight because you deserve it.
All right. I'll text him right now. I guarantee you he will get back to you today. Should I give him the number that you called in on?
You give him my number. Oh, I'm watching NFL football today. So listen, I'm available for him all day.
Okay, I will tell him to call you, and you will receive his call. I guarantee it. So I want to see some kind of press release in a week or so that this fight's going to happen, because I know he won't turn it down.
I want you to take full responsibility for doing that.
I will.
Okay?